Lovely. Hello and welcome to your favourite paranoid podcast with your two favourite paranoid podcast hosts. That was kind of a...
That's it.
That was
it.
kind of a...
We should have harmonised.
Hello.
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 Yeah, we got it in. We got it in.
Yeah, well, it's episode 36 of the Paro Pod.
It is.
Interesting tidbit about 36. It's actually the number of the devil.
Is it?
3 6s.
6 6s.
3 6s. 666.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this is...
Yeah, weren't the Mayans mad about that? Wasn't the Mayan calendar in like 36 hours or something?
Probably
36 years.
2012, you know.
Yeah,
all
something
that
about
stuff.
that. Something about that.
Something about numbers.
Yeah, fucking numerology.
Numbers are wild.
Numbers are. We've talked about numbers extensively on this podcast before.
Like just the fact that like there was no number, there was no like unit of none before.
Yeah, and someone discovered it.
Yeah.
The Arabs, I think.
That's
They're like...
yeah, it was like I think it was like the Muslims or something.
Yeah. The Muslims.
Yeah, Muslims. I don't know what they're called. Are they just like, why are they called what are they called?
The Mongol...
No, the Muslims, or what are
The Muslims.
No. But like it is the Muslims, but like what? There's like
an old term for it.
There's like an O or something in it.
Oh, yeah, I think there's just different... Musulman is also a different term for Muslim, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, it was the Muslims.
Back in the day. They came up with,
the Muslim
invented the
Empire.
number 0. Or why hasn't someone invented like a different number since then? You know?
Like what?
Exactly.
What?
You know, like say before they came up with the number 0, someone probably sat around and was like, here lads, why don't we invent a new number? And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, what was 0? And they're like, whoa, hold the phone. That makes perfect sense.
This is going to change the game.
You know, someone has to do that for like a new number. And everyone would be like, that makes perfect sense. But we can't see it at the moment. It's invisible number. They already have invisible numbers, I suppose, don't they?
There's always invisible numbers.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point?
In maths. I suppose, yeah, numbers are invisible. Unless you can see them, like your hands.
Yeah, because units make sense.
Yeah, units.
Like you can measure a unit.
Yeah, like you know the way everything's like decimalized in like Western
I think
mathematics.
It's like some infinities are bigger than others, Mark. I think it's the term.
Is that John Green?
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, another way like Western, we have, like everything is like decimalized because apparently it's like we have 10 fingers, you know, 10 toes. But like why did the Mayans counted in 6s? They had units of 6. What was that about? Did they have 6 fingers? Or like what, 6 limbs? Why did they choose 6?
Limbs.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about the sun probably or something like that.
Maybe.
It always relates back to the sun.
Something to do with that thing, you know. The sun's mad, isn't it?
The sun is mad.
You know, it's like this big ball of fire blasting rocks with radiation. Suddenly the rocks start, you know, hallucinating that they're alive and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what's that
but
about?
Like even in terms of like chemicals or like fucking what's the word I'm looking for? What's the period table made? Elements. Like all that shit, right? Like that's just like rocks smashing into Earth, and then all of a sudden there's these fucking, what are they called?
Elements.
Elements.
Yeah, they're just everywhere.
I was gonna say chemicals, but like, you know what I mean? Like, where the fuck did oxygen come from? You know what I mean? Like,
What's that about? You know? Yeah, what's the deal with oxygen?
which only like leads me to now think about like that. There's like planets that have like elements on them that we know nothing about.
Is that true?
There's definitely, yeah. They're always discovering elements.
Are they?
Yeah, man, they're always doing that. There's always like ones in between. Like, you know the way that like the chemical table, and there's all this random shit at the bottom because that's all the because
they're just making that up. They're just making it up as they go along.
It's like because like when they made the periodic table, I don't like there's shit down at the bottom that like doesn't make any. It's not even attached. I don't even think.
Ah, like the extra ones.
Yeah, the extra ones because they discovered them
the
afterwards.
DLC
or something.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely like some fucking element out there, like fucking that we know nothing about, and it's like this will solve all of your problems.
Unobtainium, yeah.
Yeah, like you have like one molecule of this, and it's like eternal energy or something like that. Or you eat this molecule, and you never have to. Your body can run off for the rest of your life. Or
Jesus,
something like that.
Yeah, that'd be intense. Out there somewhere, you know. Aliens,
bro.
Aliens.
Always comes back to aliens.
At the end of the day, it does. Yeah, what have you been up to this week?
Been watching a lot of TikToks, to be honest.
A lot of TikToks, really?
just because only because of our conversation that we just had, I'm gonna go into VR now, right?
Okay.
I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson like TikTok of him like talking about like, you know that they're like, we are like 100% like the mathematic like likelihood of us being in a fucking virtual reality is like really really probable.
Yeah.
But
I
like
think I read that.
but the thing is, right, is that like the theory is something like the idea like one civilization gets so advanced that they create virtual reality and they make it so complex that like the next like in the virtual reality they don't even know. But like the whole idea is that like if that's been happening over and over again and you threw a dart at it, more than likely you're gonna hit on one that's not the real one because it's like 1 in a million or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the actuality is that like as far as we know, like we are either the first or the last. We're either the first civilization that is getting to the point that you make
virtual reality.
Virtual reality, because we don't have that yet. So we're either the last one, we're the most virtual reality, or the first civilization that's gonna do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get how they come
so it's like 50-50.
50-50. So it's basically like, so he's like, either this is true or it's not. 50-50.
It's literally true or not. Like, and there's nothing to worry about then.
That's a lot of bollocks. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, how did he come up with that probability? Like, is he just saying?
No, because that's the idea. The whole point is like, because we don't have virtual reality that complex yet. So the point is that once you get to that stage, that like you know that it's possible, and you know, because we don't know if it's actually possible to do that yet. But like, once you get to that stage, then you're like, oh shit, we could be at any point on the timeline. But because we're not there yet, we are either the first one or the last one in this like chain.
Yeah, but I don't like how is this simulated?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, there's loads of things about this that doesn't make any sense. But like, that's like, but that point is like, oh yeah, we're either the first one or the last one. So it's not actually 1 in a million. It's actually 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, which I like my odds then.
Yeah, I suppose. Sure, it isn't everything 50-50.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's mad. Does he have a TikTok yet?
Man, he's mad on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just kidding you with really interesting facts.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm on TikTok now, but I don't get it.
What TikTok are you in? What realm of the TikTok?
I'm just on TikTok where like every time I scroll, it's just like a live stream of like some 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, man, I get them sometimes. Isabel gets really creepy ones. Isabel gets some dude in a fucking mask just staring into the camera. And I
wish I got them.
I wish I got those ones.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like committing a crime every time I go on TikTok, you know? It's weird, you know? But like some of them are funny. But like
not the live streams.
Not the live streams, no, but like just stuff you see. Like Irish ones. You know, that's so relatable. You know, talking about cans or lockdown and stuff like that, you know.
Oh, I get it, so quirky.
You know, but like, cause like TikTok skews so young that like it's pretty more our sense of humor, so it makes more sense. But it's like our version of what you'd see on Facebook about like, you know, like fucking minion memes, where like, oh, what about the lockdown? And it's like everyone starts laughing and stuff. It's just like stupid stuff.
Yeah, it's just
silly things,
silly memes,
But
very very silly memes.
Yeah, TikTok. Don't know about it.
You're not a fan.
I just don't get it. Too old.
What you been doing anyway?
I haven't been doing much, to be honest.
Watch any movies?
I watched a few movies. I did watch a few movies. I watched The Game.
The Game.
With Michael
Fincher.
Douglas.
Yep.
David Fincher directs. This is just after 7. 1999.
The big follow-up movie.
Yeah, big follow-up. Like sort of bombed, kind of. It's like one of his lesser kind of appreciated films. To be honest, I didn't even watch it to the end. I got to like I had like half an hour to go, but like it was only because I had to leave. But it's actually good. It's good, you know, because it's all about this guy. And have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's all about this guy, like this businessman, this investment banker, and he's mad rich and stuff. His life's all fucked up, and he's divorced and stuff. And he's scarred by the trauma of his father committing suicide on his 48th birthday back in the day. And this takes place on his 48th birthday. His brother comes up, and his brother is Sean Penn, and he's like, "You got to chill out, bro. Here's a gift card." And gives him a gift card for this company called Consumer Recreation Services, I think, CRS. And he goes to CRS, and he's like, "What's all this about?" And he's all stuck up, and you know, he's like, he just hates the world, and he's asked to fill out like basically personality quizzes, and like he does a physical and all this stuff. So they collect his like biometric data, and like basically take a mold of his personality, of his brain, and
I can see where you're going with this.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's basically what they do. and he's like, oh, it's a load of bollocks, but he's gone along with it because his life is just fucked up. And he gets a call a few days later, and they're like, yeah, sorry, Michael Douglas, we have actually rejected your application for CRS. The game is now over, or something like that. And he's like, what? It's like, what the fuck? But it turns out the game has only just begun, and everything around him starts to sort of fall apart.
Get all weird.
Gets all weird. Like, it's basically like living in the head of someone with like schizophrenia. There's like coincidences and stuff, and like, you know, people look at him and stuff from the background. He's like the main character basically, and he starts getting more.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, and he gets more and more paranoid, and he feels like he's at risk and his business is at risk, and all these weird coincidences and stuff, and it's basically just about how he's being surveilled at all times, and his own information is being used against him. Basically, they've gotten inside his head, and he's now like the ultimate subject of ideology, you know. But that's the thing is, I didn't see the end, but I have an idea what happens at the end, because I watched some. Did you watch the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix?
No.
There's an episode. I love the old Unsolved Mystery with Robert Stack. It's on Amazon Prime. It's like, it's so vibey, and it's just amazing, like intro music. This has nothing to do with the game, but like, it's an amazing show. And they rebooted it for Netflix, Unsolved Mysteries, and now it's like a Netflix kind of premium kind of thing. No presenter, but still has the theme music. So
is it good?
It is. It's pretty good. There's not a lot of cases. Like, the old episodes used to have like 5 or 6 cases an episode. The new episodes, like the reboot, only has one case per episode.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But one of the episodes in the reboot is about a guy who was who basically he died under mysterious circumstances, and he disappeared. He disappeared at first, and then they found him in like an office block, like this abandoned sort of porta cabin above like a building, and it was below like a skyscraper. So they're like, oh, he must have committed suicide. Must have jumped off the building. But like, there's this whole thing about like the roof of the porta cabin was so far away from the skyscraper that people were saying he must have been dropped by a helicopter. And it's like all this weird kind of stuff. But he left like a note behind his computer before he died, and they found it. And they I don't think they even showed it on the episode, but I was looking into it later, and he mentioned the game in these notes and talked about how he's like. He basically quoted parts of the game, parts that I didn't see of the movie. And there is a scene in the movie where apparently he jumps off a skyscraper to like end the game. So the theory is that this actual guy, thought he was in the game, and he was like acting strangely before he died and stuff like that. So people were thinking he'd had some sort of psychotic break, and he thought everyone was like, you know, against him.
Yeah, had schizophrenia or something.
Which is a very real kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, obviously there are like pathological reasons that would happen. Like maybe you have a mental illness or whatever. But at the same time, you know, everyone kind of gets that vibe, you know, like everyone's constantly under surveillance. You always feel like, you know, main character syndrome. Everyone's like, these people are against me or something like that.
Especially on your phone, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there's parts in the film. Michael Douglas is like how could they possibly, like his pen burst at one point. Just these small like coincidences that you're like, how could this, like, only one person, only one organization could have done this if it's intentional, but how could they have done it? And the same thing where, like, you know, you talk about, you know, shoes you know, with someone in your house, and then you will look on your phone and like you have an ad for shoes straight away. It's like, obviously you know how they did it, but it's like unthinkable that they actually have that technology and that they're actually doing it, even though it's perfectly legal and stuff, and it's all in the agreements. You know, it's just how we live these days. You know, the whole the game. We're all in the game.
Yeah. Even when you like, as you were saying, just there, like they have your biometrics and like your personality tests. Like that is literally what we're living with.
Yeah, BuzzFeed quizzes are like the end of Western civilization. You know, we just handed it all away.
You should have known what minion you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, why did I need to know what Mario Kart character I am?
Yeah, now they control your life. Yeah, that's basically what happened to Michael Douglas. Too many BuzzFeed quizzes, and his entire life was ruined. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'll definitely have to finish it. So.
It is pretty good, but like it's pretty long as well. I remember
it's only 2 hours.
Yeah, man, it doesn't need to be 2 hours though, does it?
I was watching it at 1.5, so.
I mean, that's the new way. That's the new. that's the future right there. Every movie at 1.25 speed.
Exactly. Yeah.
At the least.
At least. Yeah.
Like it's no more that like You know that like they re-release like the fucking like 35mm like versions or
Yeah,
whatever.
just release like double speed.
1 point like Mad Max Fury Road in 1.25 speed.
Yeah, and they sell like it's like 80 quid for the Blu-ray.
And then afterwards, they're just like, it really captures the vibe of the film.
Yeah, it's so frenetic.
That's the real energy to
A
it.
frenetic tour de force.
Oh, fucking hell. It would be Mad Max Fury Road as well.
Yeah, because they actually sped up parts of that film. You know, the fight sequences and all. So,
hilarious.
Just goes to show. I saw they're doing Furiosa.
Yep.
They recasted Furiosa, though. Anna Taylor-Joy is going to be Furiosa.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And some other big players are in it.
That film is never going to... That's like another Mad Max Fury Road.
It's filmed... It was supposed to film this year.
Oh, it's just not. It's going to be like pushed out to bits.
No, apparently, because George Miller just finished some other movie he was doing. That sounds shite, basically. But he was going to start filming Furiosa this year in Australia or New Zealand or something like that, because they had like a tax... incentive
tax haven.
That was basically that was expiring at the end of the year, so he's like, oh, I have to get this done, but they actually extended it, so he's going to shoot it in 2022 instead, so there's no rush. So apparently it is going ahead. Everyone signed on, so that'll be good.
I can't wait. That film's going to take ages to come out. Though.
Yeah, I know.
Like that thing's going to be like, we won't see that until like 2024 or something like that.
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road is filmed in 2012. Like, it didn't come out till 15, 16.
I think 15.
Yeah. It's like 3 years.
Yeah.
2025 we're looking at. Be competing with Avatar 6 on the big screen.
Avengers 85.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At that stage, Mad Max Fury Road will be taking place in the Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah, so what are you been watching?
I watched a few bits. I watched Twin Peaks Firewalk with me. Watched that last night.
Damn.
And
this is, what, 1990?
Four.
I
think it's 94.
After the series?
Yeah, way after the series. I watched the series, maybe it's even, it might be 1996, let me look that up. I like Twin Peaks. Like, Twin Peaks is really weird, because, like, all the hype around it, I feel like is kind of misplaced on, like, especially like the original series, like on the wrong aspects of it. I was going into Twin Peaks expecting like this fucking, like, the guy that brought you a Razorhead is fucking making a TV show, and the original series really isn't that. Like, there is some aspects of it, but it's not really the show. Because you think so, like, the entire time I was like, oh, it's about the Laura Palmer case and all that. Like, that's where all the weird shit's gonna happen. And that's where the weird shit does happen. But, like, nearly halfway through season 2, you know who the killer is. And, like, David Lynch never wanted that to happen. I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard before that he went off to do Wild at Heart with Nick Cage, which is on Netflix, and I want to watch it now.
Same.
And, like, when he went off to do that, they've, like, I don't know who was, like, director or whatever, but they revealed who Laura Palmer's killer was, and, like, fucking, like, minor spoilers for season 2 of the original Twin Peaks. Fast forward like 15 seconds. Like, Kyle MacLachlan, he's not in the FBI for a bit. Like, he gets pulled out. So, like, when that happens, it's really weird, and, like, everything that you thought that the show was, like, is, like, still going on, but, like, it makes you reevaluate the entire show and realize this isn't a show that's like a David Lynch weird shit going on. This is a film about, or like a TV show about these really weird, distinct characters going through, like, their daily lives, and just, like, the weirdness of it all. And, like, all the characters are so distinct. I vividly remember every character because they're so different. And it's like, that's what you watch Twin Peaks for. And you only realize that towards, like, the end of season 2, that, like, it makes it, because, like, it's a slog to get you when you're first watching it. You're just thinking it's really boring. But when Laura Palmer's killer's revealed, it, like, makes you recontextualize the whole show.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, like, really fucking cool that Twin Peaks does that. Like, Firewalk with me did that with the entire Twin Peaks again, and made me realize, like, oh shit, no, this is, like, a horrifying thing. Like, Firewalk with me is one of the scariest movies I think I've ever seen.
Oh shit.
It's
like proper Lynch.
Oh man, it is like
Lynch.
This is like proper Lynch, but, like, it's so well done. Like, it's like Mulholland Drive, I think, is like this the feeling I have for Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me, I think is the same feeling that people have for Mulholland Drive. Like all aspects of it work, and it makes it scary, and it's like it's just so fucking good. Like it's and it is super David Lynchy.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end, man. I've heard that there is plans in like Firewalk with Me that don't get revealed until The Return, and The Return came out 25 years after like the original Twin Peaks. Like people watched this and had no idea what the fuck some aspects of it were, and like it's revealed later on.
Yeah, isn't there a line? It's like, see you in 25 years or something like that. Isn't that in it?
What?
Like, see you in 25 years. Isn't that part of it?
Yeah, they say they like see you in 25 years. There's like,
that's insane.
There's like a horse that comes into it for like for 1 second, and I have no idea what it had to do with anything. And there's a face at the end, and I was like, that's too distinct not to be something. So I'm assuming that it's going to come back into it later on. And I've seen clips of The Return, and like it is the most David Lynch nightmare shit. Like it's black and white, it's fucking out of focus, it's all that shit, and it's weird. And like Firewalk with Me is like the perfect bridging point, I feel like, between the two series, while also being an amazing piece in and of itself. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, jeez. Is it like a finale to the TV series? Like, how was it produced? Like, what was the story behind it?
I have no idea what the story behind this production was, but like,
because didn't it end in like, it ended a few years before.
It ended like, I think Twin Peaks ended. It started in 1990 and ended in 91, and Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me came out in 92. So like obviously they knew it was very close together. So I had that completely wrong. But like the start of the film, or like the first half an hour, has literally nothing to do with anything that is going on from like Twin Peaks at all. Like Kiefer Sutherland just shows up in this film, and I was like, oh, there he is. And like you're following this main character, and like there's the two of them are so distinctly set up on like their relationship with each other. Like there's a moment where like, and David Lynch is like the first character that you recognize from Twin Peaks is David Lynch himself, and like he's in Twin Peaks, and he plays this character that like always wears like earphones in, and he just shouts all the time.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen clips of that.
And it's really fucking funny. But like he's like the head of the FBI or whatever, and there's like, oh, I need to get these people in because there's his body found or whatever, and he sends in this dude, and there's this really weird moment where like David Lynch like shows him this like weird dance or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's really weird. And then afterwards, the agent that we start following like explains to Kiefer Sutherland what everything about the weird dance meant and what it was code for what they're going into. And it's really weird, and you're like, oh, that's like how smart he is. And like Kiefer Sutherland's character, who's like the younger dude or whatever, he's like, you know, his like the co-detective basically, you know what I mean?
Buddy cop, like. Yeah,
buddy cop. He gets a few of them as well. So like you understand, oh yeah, he's also like he's in the FBI, he knows what he's doing. Like he's not like some fucking idiot, but like the other dude's just some genius. This is like Sherlock levels.
Yeah.
And so like we follow them for like 30 minutes, and then the main dude that we've been following like touches his ring and then he disappears, and then the theme music to Twin Peaks starts, and we never see him again.
Oh god, yeah.
And like it's so, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And like it's so tonally different to like anything in season 1 and season 2. It's so weird. And then like it just ends, and then we meet Laura Palmer, and we actually get to see her for the first time, I'm pretty sure. And I think
she's alive.
While she's actually alive, it's not flashbacks, because like Twin Peaks, you always get the perspective of Laura Palmer from other people. Like it's always someone telling you about her, but now you see her as she is, and like you understand like why people said that these things about her, but then you realize, oh shit, it's like she's been screaming out for help for a very long time, and this is where Twin Peaks gets so fucking bleak. Like this is the darkest thing I think I've ever seen. She is basically crying out for help the entire time throughout the entire film, and no one ever does anything, and it ends up in her death, and it is the bleakest fucking thing ever.
Oh god. Jeez.
But then it ends on this moment where like, spoilers for Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me, Laura Palmer dies.
What?
And I don't want to give away the ending, but like it is like transcendental, like what happens. Like it's so, for me anyway, I was just sitting there, I was mesmerized at the end of it, because it's like really, it's like this moment where like it's bad what's happened, but there's like kind of hope, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
kind of. It's like kind of comforting in a way.
All right.
Like it's David Lynch just putting his hand on your shoulder. He's not patting you on the back, but his hand is there.
It's there, you know. Yeah, he's not the type of guy, you know. He's always hopeful, you know. Always bright and sunny.
But it's so good. It's literally like top 5 favorite films of all time right now.
Jesus, that's intense.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I have to get on that.
I know. I
wagon.
Can't wait to watch Twin Peaks: The Return. I am like.
It's good reviews.
Oh
as well.
man, I'm like hopping into that soon. This might just turn into a Twin Peaks: The Return podcast for like a while.
Yeah, man, I would join you, but like the task of catching up is immense.
I could hold off for like
a week.
Would you be able to watch Twin Peaks? But
in
like,
a week?
Yes. I don't think you'd be able to watch it in a week.
Yeah, probably would.
Nah, fuck it, man.
Nah.
I'm just gonna have to go ahead, but I won't spoil anything. But like, I'll just be like, yeah, this is weird shit.
Just steam ahead, yeah. It'd be grand. I'll definitely get into it.
Might have to book off a few days from work. You know what I'm saying? Use up those holidays.
Yeah.
Taking a holiday in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I'll definitely get into Twin Peaks. It's always been on my list. You know, Lynch, one of those guys that like, I just like respect for like no reason. Like I don't really, like I don't get a lot of what he does, but
man,
you know, like his short films. Remember watching them? I was like, this is gonna make him make sense to me. I watched them all. Watched all his early short films. I didn't understand any of them. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I think the thing with David Lynch is that like he's such an auteur, but I don't really feel like any of his films really reveal anything about him. They're so focused on the characters. I don't think David Lynch is actually like, you know, the way that like when you're watching a Charlie Kaufman film, you're like, oh yeah, that's Charlie Kaufman right there. Like this is something about like that style or whatever. Like I don't think that ever happens with David Lynch, and I think that's why he's such an enigma.
Yeah, he just does his own thing. You know, he's living his life.
Like he is just so fucking weird.
He's just a strange guy. He's an original, true OG. True OG. Back in the day, he started in '68, wasn't it? I think he started.
He still pays all the dudes from Eraserhead and everything. They still get paychecks because they help clean up. We were watching a documentary or something, or the making of Eraserhead or something one of the nights.
Were we?
Yeah, because I remember I
never watched Eraserhead, so
I must have watched it or something.
I don't know. Remember, didn't you and Aaron watch it at like 8 a.m. or something?
Yeah, it was too early for that.
Yeah. That's insane.
I think it was on a Saturday or something. Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Did I watch that with Aaron?
Yeah. Remember Aaron left, Goblin left. He did that for a lot of films.
Yeah, he did. He just wasn't able. Holy Mount was just a beautiful. That was a beautiful mess. That was literally like one of the that is the best like movie watching experiences I think I've ever had.
That's one of those things you read about. It was like the crowd walked out in disgust after 5 minutes.
I felt like I was in the Cannes Film Festival.
I felt like it was an avant-garde filmmaker at Cannes, you know. They don't get it.
They don't get it. We didn't even have a fucking TV stand. The TV's literally on the ground.
Yeah,
sitting around watching it.
Yeah. We didn't even get it, but like
we had our reading.
Yeah, we tried, you know.
Oh yeah, no. Eraserhead's great though, but like he still pays
your man Jack.
No, all of them, because it was super low budget. I'm pretty sure I can't remember the full story, but there's a moment where like he was running out of funds, and he was like, I can't afford like for cleaners or something. Can like if we all have to, basically everyone did everything on that set. So he like basically promised him like, I can't pay you now, but I promise you like I'll pay you like for the rest of your lives or whatever. And he gives them everyone gets royalties from him or something. I can't remember. It's something like that though.
Yeah.
So like he's pretty sound.
That's the way you should make a film. Everyone does everything, you know. That's the way to do it, you know.
And that's why I'm pretty sure like everyone that's worked with him is like, yeah, he's really fucking sound.
Yeah, I remember I saw an interview with him. I think it was like a press junket with him and Naomi Watts, and she was like just talking about how much she loves him, you know, but like really authentically. You're like, wow, she actually likes him.
And Laura Dern loves him.
Yeah.
And your man Jack loves him. And Kyle MacLachlan likes him. Like
everyone likes the guy.
Everyone was like, yeah, I trust basically all of you, and I therefore have to trust David Lynch, I guess now.
Yeah.
Even though I know nothing, I can't tell anything about him.
Yeah, he's grand. Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan liked one of my tweets before, and it's the best moment of my life.
Did
Kyle,
he?
Yeah.
What?
He did.
Which one?
He tweeted something about like Inside Out, and I retweeted going like, I can't, because Kyle MacLachlan voices the dad in Inside Out, and I never knew that.
What?
And I retweeted going like, I never knew Agent Cooper voiced the dad from Inside Out, and he liked that.
What? Kyle MacLachlan liked it.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, you are famous.
Yeah,
you're literally Twitter famous.
I got connections.
Holy shit! Yeah, ask him. We'll get David on the pod.
Yeah.
You know.
Hi Kyle, you like my tweet before? I run this podcast.
Could you ask David Lynch to come on our podcast? Yeah. No, that's crazy.
It's just a quick Zoom call.
Because they're like soulmates. Like I was, I think it was a Laura Dern interview where I was watching a compilation of testimonies to David Lynch for some reason. Because for ages I used to get it. Like my daily routine was like I'd like wake up and like first thing I do was watch his weather report every day. Like, you know, his yeah, where he's like, he just reads out the weather and then he picks a number out of a jar and he's like, today's number is 7, and it used to be just like a ritual that I did. But one of the videos in the recommended list was like testimonies to him, and Laura Dern was in one talking about how she was like invited to a meet, like to sit down with Lynch before she signed up for like Blue Velvet or something, and it was just him sitting in like a fucking Eddie Rockets or whatever their version of that is, you know. It's like sitting there with a fucking
milkshake.
Milkshake. Yeah, sitting there with a milkshake and a napkin, writing down notes. And across from him was like Kyle MacLachlan doing the same thing, and they didn't say anything when she first sat down, but they're just like so concentrated on what they're doing, just like very sort of, you know, in themselves. It's strange and like a really like in a way that was like really at peace with themselves. And she was like, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with these guys. And I was like, that's a really weird way to say that, but but I was like, that's just, you know, sums it up. Two bros, you know.
Sounds like they got their third eye open anyway.
Yeah, they don't care. They have their milkshakes and their napkins. So
they make good fucking, like, two of them work together so well.
Yeah.
Like, Twin Peaks, man. It's just on the it's in the brain at the moment.
On the brain.
This weird fucking TV show. Gosh,
Yes.
I love you, David Lynch.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else did I watch? I watched Borat.
Very nice.
My wife. Here we go.
My wife.
All the voices, all the time.
Borat impressions. People love that. People
still find that funny. Like,
Yeah.
a new film came out last year. It's got nominated.
Yeah. You know. Oh god. Yeah, Borat. This is huge back in the day.
Yeah,
Major. 2006 was it?
Yeah, 2006.
2006.
Major. Like a fucking sleepover classic.
Yeah. I was like, I was prohibited from watching it for quite a while. I was like, this is too nasty. But it's not that bad. You know?
It's really not.
Yeah, it's actually really pretty tame. Except for the part where they're like wrestling.
And they're running around naked.
Yeah, that's really weird.
That's
like,
really weird.
Are those his actual balls in Sacha Baron Cohen's face?
It is.
It's so weird.
Like, that's the weirdest moment in the entire film.
That's extremely weird, yeah.
Like, and like, that's the moment where you're like, oh, this is the weird jackass on the side of it or whatever. Or like, I don't even know what. I don't know what the fuck side of it is.
There, yeah.
But like, I feel like it's something like Jackass.
Yeah.
But like,
that must have been a real stunt.
Yeah, because it has to be real. It's so weird. And like, that bit is like really out of place as well. Like, but like, so right, I always thought that Borat was like a film that people found funny because it's a funny fireman doing funny things, right? And then when the new one came out, I heard, oh no, Borat like reveals things about like American racism or whatever. Like it highlights these issues, or whatever. And I was like, oh, so that's why people like Borat. Like, I know that people find it funny for the funny foreign man doing things, but like maybe people also like it for like it's the way that it like reveals, you know, racism in America or whatever. And I watched it thinking that, and it's not that at all.
No, like Sacha Baron Cohen made that up. That was like a retroactive thing.
That is complete bollocks. It is not that at all.
Half the film is just making fun of people from Kazakhstan, basically.
Like that is literally.
That's the joke.
Like that thing happens maybe 3 times in the film.
Yeah.
It's the moment with the frat bros. There's a moment with the rodeo thing. And there's like another moment, whatever. And I was like, yeah, wow, way to go. You reveal that frat boys and like rodeo like cowboys are homophobes and racists. That's like amazing way to go.
Cutting edge journalism, you know.
Like that is the only moments in the film where that happens, and the rest of the film is just a funny man doing funny things.
Yeah,
and like even in terms of like the mockumentary shit, like it's not funny.
Yeah. Like even. Cause like Sacha Baron Cohen, he went to Cambridge and he's like a public school boy.
Yeah.
And like the joke of like the first half of the film is just him walking around his
village,
a village full of poor people who've been like devastated by the fall of the USSR, and they've no money and they've no limbs and stuff like that. And he's just doing a funny accent and stuff. Yeah, it's funny.
He's like,
but
it's my wife.
Yeah,
and he's like, see my sister.
He kisses his sister.
Bollocks.
It's like it's funny, but it's like just really bad, and
But,
it's
like,
like obviously insulting to people from Kazakhstan.
But like it feels like the I don't even know what type of fucking comedy this even is. It feels like really edgy, like what's that movie? Like a comedy from like American Pie and shit like that.
Yeah, because I don't know, because it's even more like kind of like vulgar than like Ali G. Like Ali G always had those interviews where he's talking to like loyalists in the north about Ireland or stuff, or like talking to Trump about presenting his business ideas, like all like clear parodies and sort of like playing off the person he's interviewing. Even though like, you know, Ali G himself is like a pretty, you know, sort of a dodgy stereotype in himself, but like Borat is like, the joke is that he's like a funny foreign man with a funny accent,
and it's like, oh, the weird, like, and like it's like, oh yeah, it's all about a culture class or whatever. It's like, no, I'm pretty like, this is like highly insulting because like he's playing it off as Kazakhstan culture, Kazakhstanian, whatever you pronounce it, like that country's fucking culture. So like, it's not this weird culture clash at all.
yeah. It's not like fucking trading places or whatever. It's like,
and everyone's really nice to Borat for the most part.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Like, they're all really nice to him. Like, everyone in the film. Up until, like, a certain point, everyone's like, oh, fuck off then.
Yeah.
But, like, that's only, like, at a reasonable stage.
Yeah. Like, there's a point where when he brings in, he brings in, like, a sex worker.
Yeah, that's the moment where they're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, at that stage, you can be like, oh, like...
And he's already brought his shit to the table.
Yeah, he's already brought his shit to the table.
And they're just like, he's okay. I think he can become an American, stuff like that. Like,
that's the moment, though, where, like, those are the moments. That's it, yeah. That's the moments, though, where, like, the, like, cultural reveal, like, is shown, like, the way that they... Like, it's like, oh, like, he can become Americanized.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, any form of equality between them or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like, this guy's just fucking weird. They actually think this guy's from Kazakhstan. It's sort of, like... revealing something in themselves. But I think it's like, you know, just like his whole thing being like, oh, I'm revealing something about other people. But I think the fact that he's going into these places and like clearly doesn't really respect the people he's talking to a lot of the time, I think that's a major thing with because I think it was Harmony Korine or one of the Jackass guys was saying that you always have to, if you're pulling those kind of pranks, you have to be like, you have to basically put the other person, elevate the other person above you. It has to be, the joke has to be on you, basically.
You have to be the joke.
Yeah. Which he does that in most of it. And like, I still like even like the less sort of appropriate parts. But it's like, it's not like a noble kind of thing. It's not like Louis Theroux or whatever. He's just gonna being a funny guy with a funny accent. It's still a good movie though. It's still funny.
Is it?
It's all right. Like,
man, like
I wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't watch it again.
Like, I only watched it for the first time. I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe that this is like people love this film.
People
are fucking cowards who say that, like, oh yeah, it reveals things about America. It's like, no, just admit that you find the funny man foreign. Like, whatever the fuck I was saying earlier. The foreign man funny.
Yeah.
Like, just admit that that's what you like about the film, and don't like try and make the film into something that it so clearly isn't.
Yeah. But like half of that is him. I remember he did some speech where he was talking about,
I think Borat 2 is like that.
Yeah, but even then it's like he's taken something that was originally like basically a racist stereotype and it's like, it's actually something else.
Yeah, just admit that the thing that you like is racist.
Just
admit the thing that you like is racist.
Yeah. Because he did some interview where he's like, or no, he did a speech. He was like talking about stuff about how comedy breaks down barriers and like reveals things about each other. And he said something about how when he went into the bar and got everyone start cheering, throw the Jew down the well.
That's not even in the film.
Yeah, I was waiting for that like when I watched it and. Like it's not in it
because I've seen that clip on YouTube.
Yeah, that's one of his like from the show, I think, Ali G in the house, but like,
or I think it's a deleted scene in Borat.
Yeah, one of them.
Because he couldn't fit it in narratively, which is kind of the problem as well with Borat, is that there's too much of a narrative.
Yeah, but there's not enough of a narrative.
Oh man, like there's like there's moments where like he's talking to like feminists or whatever, and they're like, I was like, oh, maybe because I was watching, I was like, okay, so far it's literally just been Borat just being Borat, like it's not anything. It's been the whole Kazakhstan thing. And then when he gets to the feminist, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's gonna reveal something about like white feminism or something like that.
Yeah.
And then immediately I thought, oh no, obviously not. Like I'm just giving this way too much credit, and it's literally just Borat just being extremely misogynistic to them.
Yeah.
While also being like given the point, like, oh yeah, he's gonna go after oh, you're one from fucking
Pamela
Bale.
Anderson, yeah.
He's gonna go after her. Like that's all. That's what that scene establishes.
Yeah.
And the feminists just like he's just so unbelievably misogynistic, and like they're just like, oh fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And as you're like, oh yeah, fair. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, though, Borat was nowhere near as like misogynistic as the frat boys.
Yeah, those frat boys. Like, how did they find them?
Holy shit!
Like, how did they find the people who did this? Because wasn't there a thing about
Two of them
like
sued.
Yeah, wasn't there a thing people that were like, we didn't sign up for this, or like, because a lot of it
was something else.
A lot of it is taken out of context as well. For some of them, like there's some scenes in some stuff that he does that are clearly just like it's like an X Factor kind of thing where he's like switched it in and out because it makes it funnier, which is fine. But like he seems to like want to give the impression that it's all like
authentic.
It's like a journalistic kind of thing. It's not, you know. It's like he's a wind-up merchant and he's really good at it. You know, don't try to make it anything else.
But I think that Borat 2 is that though, because like with Borat 2, like there was a meaning for it. You know what I mean? It's the COVID shit.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'm shocked. Like I was that was like the most disappointed I've ever been watching the film. I was like, I can't believe.
Very nice.
I was just watching this like, here. This is I've been fucking.
Yeah.
I've been duped.
It's one of those films. It's like.
I think I was pickpocketed.
Yeah, it was a pure meme. Remember back in the day?
Yeah.
You know, mankinis and all that
My
stuff.
wife and all that bullshit.
My wife. It's very like, it's just, you know.
Even like, because I remember in college, I remember like one lecture showing like a clip from Borat, and it's when Borat's like in a supermarket, and he's like, what is this? And it's like, that's cheese. And he goes like, and what is this? And it's like, that is also cheese. And he just keeps doing it, and he keeps going for ages, and it's like such this obvious thing where like the worker can't like snap at him because like he's trapped in this situation where he has to be a nice employee and has to, like, and help him. And Borat's just like, what's this? And it's at the same time revealing that it's also showing like the mass production of like cheese in America. Like there's so many different. I didn't come up with this, by the way. This is everything this is everything that the lecturer said.
Yeah, who was that?
But like, it was Heinze.
Heinze, yeah, the man's a king.
But like, and I was like, wow, holy shit, that is so smart. But that's not in the film. That's a deleted scene, or like it's in Ali G or something. It's not in the film. Everything I've seen about like clips I've seen of Borat haven't actually been for the film itself.
Yeah, Ali G is just way better. Like all of Ali G. Like ever watch the round tables he used to do? Like Ali G, where you get like people sitting down on a couch, and like a talk show kind of setup, where he just like
I've seen clips of it, but I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, like it's not like revealing anything. It's just funny. You know, he's just like pitting people who have like the opposite opinions against each other, and then like coming in with these like really stupid takes.
It's like Eric Andre kind of.
Yeah. Like that's fine. That's perfectly fine, and it's really funny. Whereas Borat is just like
Borat's just racist.
Yeah, Borat's he's just a one note kind of character, and you know it is funny in a way, but like that's it. You know, it's
kind of revealing in and of itself that became such an icon because it's such a blatantly racist character. It's like everyone loves Borat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like not Like all the people, all the Borat impressionists out there, like they're not doing it because it's like you know, scathing political satire. It's because it's like it's a guy with a funny voice, you know. It's like notions. It is notions. Yeah,
there's too many notions.
Pure notions, lad.
Pure notions. So yeah, I didn't like Borat.
It's all right. Like.
I want to watch Bruno though.
Bruno. Didn't people hate Bruno?
See, right, I've heard this before, and Robin said this to me. Or she wrote it in the theatrical cut where she was saying like Borat, like you can be racist and still enjoy Borat because you can laugh at the funny foreigner, but like like a homophobe can't enjoy Bruno, because it's too gay.
Yeah, it's really gay,
and like so that just pushes people out off it straight away, and that's probably why people thought it was worse than Borat, even though it actually accomplishes what Borat's like what people think Borat is better.
Yeah, I've never seen Bruno, so
I've seen moments of Bruno. I haven't watched the full thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, would you trust the guy who did Borat to do it properly? Or
Robin said it's better, so I trust her opinion.
There you go. There you go. Bruno recommended film.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I'm not watching one of his films for a while now. That just I'm annoyed.
It is. It's a betrayal.
My head is shaking at you.
Sasha.
My watch Madagascar though.
Yeah. King Julian. I didn't know he was King Julian.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like,
but like I saw a clip of him like talking about where he got the King Julian voice from, and like it was from It was from like these Indian dudes that he knew, and like that's just what the accent is. He just slows it down. But like he was just impersonating them, and he just slowed it down. He's like, "Ah, yes, I'm King Julian," and like that's what the voice is.
He's just doing an impression. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
It's just like Michael Myers doing an impression of that ghost sheet, playing that impression.
Yeah.
That's like the worst segue I think we've ever done. Smooth as butter. But it's the Halloween remake, Rob Zombie, 2007.
That's always those 3 words. Bad news.
Those 3 words should never be put in the same sentence.
Rob Zombie 2007. I'm
Halloween.
already tuned out.
No, yeah, there's like Rob Zombie Halloween 2007. It's like,
no, bad.
Just imagine what's in it.
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
I really did not like this movie. I watched this today, and I don't know what drove me to. I don't know. I just because after films we're gonna get on to in a sec. Well, like 20 minutes or so.
Are we talking about this for 20 minutes?
Yeah, man. Well, no, like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Like I was in the mood to watch a slasher, and I was like, I don't know what slasher to watch, and I was like, what about like one of the 2000s one? And I was like, what about fucking Rob Zombie? Because I don't know why I've been seeing like House of a Thousand Corpses on Shudder, and I was like, been meaning to watch that Rob Zombie. Wonder what he's about.
Is he? He was a singer, wasn't he? Yeah, he's the
which
guy
also
Dragula.
Which is also I was like, for like Veronica, and we had the Fanatic. Like this is another director that was like a singer,
part of the trilogy.
And I was like, I don't really want to watch like House of a Thousand Corpses because I've heard it's really gory. Why don't I watch like a remake? His Halloween remake, which I've heard like very divisive things about. Yeah,
I've heard some alright things about it.
I've heard it's not that bad.
I've heard it's not that bad. It's like
it is that bad.
Yeah. Because for some reason I thought I'd seen it, but I'd actually seen the Halloween the Texas Chainsaw remake.
Yeah,
which is are they kind of similar? Are they?
No, not really.
No?
No, they're different. Because, like, I think the worst thing about the Texas Chainsaw remake is that, like, it does reduce down, like, Leatherface to this, like... Maniac. Like, that's what he is. But he's also been that for, like, 2 films beforehand. Well, actually, no. I'd say 1 film. Like, the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw 3, that's, like, that as well. But they just reduce it down. And that's the most boring thing because they don't do anything with Leatherface.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it's just also, like... I think like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. At the time I thought it was on the level of like Leatherface because I just thought the 2 of them were shit.
Yeah.
But at least that's all that like that remake did is that it just reduced it down. It didn't reduce them like their like icon down and made him into this like really awful backstory that's like so poorly written and just like removes everything that you like about the character. And just replaces it with shit. Like at least they didn't replace it with anything. They just removed all the good shit.
Yeah.
Like the Halloween remake is not a good movie. It's so fucking generic. Like when it gets to the slasher shit, it's not even good. It's just like all the references are just bang, 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 bang. Like there's a shot of fucking Mike Myers just standing there while Laurie's like looking at the window. There's like the shot of him like at the balcony. There's all these fucking shots that like you've seen before. In the space of an hour, because the other first hour is the build up to all this and it's the backstory and like whatever about like removing the mystique of Michael Myers. Like people don't like the fact that this film did that. I agree, and I also think though that like even if I wouldn't like it if they did it anyway, but like if they were gonna do it, at least make it good. It is as subtle as a fucking sledgehammer. It is so badly written. It's so bad.
Jesus. Yeah. What's the origin story in a grapefruit? What the fuck
Michael
is that
Myers
saying?
came from a like kind of rough family, and his mom was a sex worker, and his stepdad or his mom's boyfriend or his dad, not sure who the male character is, but he just keeps calling Michael Myers homophobic slurs just all the time. And then Mike Myers just snaps and he kills him and then he kills everyone. And then his mom, then I thought that was it because it happens 20 minutes. I was like, all right, that's it. Now we're going to get to flash forward. No, we stick with this kid for like another 20 minutes and we see him like at therapy with like Dr. Loomis.
Loomis, yeah.
Loomis. And like that bit's like all right, it's fine. It's also like Like it's so on the nose, where it's just like, oh, you look at the eyes of the psychopath. Like it's all that shit. And it's like,
did they have the original guy for that?
No,
Different guy.
yeah, but I can't. Oh man, he's a really well-known actor, but I can't think of his name. No, I just thinking of Dennis Hopper, but it's not Dennis Hopper. Can't remember his name. Or he's good. You'd recognize him. He's good though. And then, you know, Mike Myers like snaps and he kills a nurse, and then like it fast forwards a couple of years, and then Mike Myers escapes. But like there's, oh god, like I just want to give like a quick content warning for what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to talk about like a scene of sexual assault and rape. It's not pleasant, but it's in the film, and like that was when there's a rape scene in this film, and when that happened I was like, what the fuck, what is this? And I realized that there was 2 cuts of the film, and the theatrical cut doesn't have that in it. It actually has a way more exciting and like way more to the point fucking escape sequence where Mike Myers just beats the shit out of a lot of cops. But in this one, it's like it develops like these characters that are just these pieces of shit, and they just bring this like mentally unwell girl. She's basically comatose, and they pull her out and like rape her in front of Mike Myers, and then Mike Myers kills them. But like it went on for so long, and like the point of the scene was basically to build up Mike Myers to make him like a good guy in that scene. I was like the entire point of Mike Myers' character is that he is the embodiment of evil and its trauma, and it's like bad shit coming into your house or whatever, wherever you live in your suburban household, and like bad shit happens and it hurts and there's trauma afterwards. And that's what the Halloween 2018 film like continues on from. But the remake is like, maybe Mike Myers is kind of a good guy.
yeah Well, like that's like the most like fucking pants on head stupid way to do that, you know? Like if you're trying to make someone look like a good guy, and you know the only way to do that is to have someone get raped and then for him to come in and save them. That's like, it's just so like
that's how
stupid.
bad the fucking like Mike Myers is that's how far you had to go to give any sort of justification.
Yeah.
Like,
but he doesn't even do it because she gets raped, isn't it?
Yeah, he does it after. He does it like she's raped, and then they take out one of his masks, and that's when he gets pissed.
So like, was it established? What's the point of like
just to shock you? I think just Rob Zombie be like, oh, isn't this shocking? It's like, yeah, it is. Well done, well done. Yeah,
thanks, Rob.
Thanks,
you just
Rob.
ruined it. You ruined the franchise.
But like, everyone that Mike Myers kills up until that point, you're just like, yeah, that's understandable, because there's a nurse that he kills, right? And like she says something like really snide to him and like really insulting, but like she picks up a photo of him, and like as you find out, Laurie is the fucking Laurie. Is that Laurie? Yeah,
his sister.
Wait, what's her second name?
Laurie Strode.
I was gonna say Palmer. Laurie Palmer.
Laurie Palmer. Yeah.
But like that's what happens in this film, is like Laurie is, you know, Mike Myers' sister, but
which is referenced in the new one.
Which is referenced in the new one. I was like, oh yeah, that's in the original one. I was like, oh no, that's actually the remake. I forgot. But I hadn't even seen the remake at the time. But so like she picks up the photo of like him and Laurie, and she's like, oh, that's a cute baby, and then couldn't be related to you, and gives it back to him. And then he gets up and he kills her.
That's so passive aggressive.
But it's like, it's so unnecessary. But like, that's in the director's cut. That's not in the original. She doesn't say anything to him in the theatrical cut for some reason. Like, because obviously Rob Zombie like changed all these things. He's like, no, Mike Myers is. He's like, there's good in him. Like, you know, you actually root for him.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's not the point.
That's not the point.
Yeah. Spacey calls him ugly and he kills her. It's like,
well, at that stage he's also murdered like 4 people.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to kind of keep like the biggest weakness maybe of the new one. It's like he just kills like 17 people or something. He kills so many people. Like, you shouldn't, you know, it sort of reduces the impact if he's just killing people left, right, and center.
But like, the kills are really cool.
In this one?
No,
in the new one, yeah.
In the 2007 one, the kills are fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good kill.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, the good kills that happen are like the ones that you've seen before. Like, it's the one where he picks a dude up and he impales him on the fucking thing.
That happens again?
That happens again.
They have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Come up with something better, like, you know, references. I see it was Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis.
Yes.
Malcolm McDowell,
that's who it is. Yeah,
great
Malcolm
man,
McDowell. Yeah,
great man.
Back again.
Aye.
And like, he's really good in it, but like, again, it's just so bad. It's just so fucking bad. And like, this is 2 hours long.
2 hours.
It has no reason. I thought one stage was ending, and then I looked at the time, and there was 15 minutes left. And I was like, how?
What happens in the 15 minutes?
It's just another chase. This is after 2 chases. There's a third one,
Oh god.
and it goes on for 15 minutes.
And like, is it like an actual remake of the original? Like, is it broken up into like halves where it's like his origin story?
Yeah.
And then
Then it's basically just like the original one just happens, but
oh,
way worse in every single fucking way. And like, and this is another problem with the film, right? So like in the original one, you can like excuse Mike Myers having like kind of all these like basically superpowers because he is the embodiment of evil. Like he's kind of a mythic character just going throughout the film or whatever. But in this one, in the 2000 remake, like he's a character and he's human. So it doesn't make any sense why he gets shot with a gun that's like meant to take down like fucking bears and shit.
Yeah.
And like he gets shot with that like 3 times and he's still going and he's still completely fine. And he gets stabbed and he's completely fine. It's like, and they keep referencing him like he's the boogeyman. And like there's a bit where like Larry's in the car with the alumnus and she turns to him and she's like, that was the boogeyman, wasn't it? And then Malcolm McDowell's is like, yes, I think it was. But then fucking Mike Myers like bursts through, like grabs Larry again.
He goes, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, whatever, Larry.
But like, so they referenced him as the boogeyman.
Yeah,
but like
he's a guy.
He's just a dude.
He's just a guy, you know?
It's like you can't have both.
Yeah. The boogeyman, the whole point of him being scary is that he's not a guy, you know? He's a boogeyman. He's someone else.
And another thing is that, like, with the original one as well, you empathize with the characters. Like, they're not assholes.
Yeah.
Like, like, that's the entire point, is that they're not assholes. And that you're meant to have, like, some form of sympathy for them because they're just young people.
Yeah.
But in this one, like, half the people he kills, you're like, yeah, you fucking deserve that.
What, they all, like, insult him or something? Or
like
they're all sinners?
His stepdad is, like, this fucking piece of shit. And, his sister is super narcissistic, and it's like so like the dialogue is like the most cringe-inducing thing I think I've ever heard. I hated it, but like you just don't like either of them because they're both assholes. And then there's this bully character who like really viciously bullies him, and fucking Mike Myers beats him to death with a stick. And it's actually the kid from Spy Kids.
Oh, your man.
Yeah, it's your man.
What was his name? Jesse or something? Fucking hell.
But he's the bully.
What happened to him? He pure fell off.
He's with someone.
Is he?
Yeah, but I can't remember. It's someone famous. I can't remember who it is though.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a photo of him and he was walking out of his shop and he had like bags and shit. But you know those running shoes that like wrap around your toes? Like they like form your feet.
Oh, yeah.
He was wearing those.
Oh, God.
So he was really into his running.
Foot gloves. What the fuck? Yeah.
But yeah. So like they're all the characters that he kills at the start and you're just like, yeah, you all kind of deserved it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the nurse, you're just like, well, you were just a cunt for no reason.
Yeah, why did you say that? Why would you say it to a mentally ill person?
Like this poor child that is after like
Yeah.
and the whole point is like he's like a psychopath, but at that stage you're just like he's just like very mentally unwell child. But Jesus, like it's just so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It like fundamentally doesn't understand what is good with the original one.
Yeah, it just sounds like one of those generic jokes, you know. The 2000s is quite a dark time, you know. Quite a dark time for
film
horror.
was bleak.
Horror was.
But that was the problem.
Pits.
That was the problem with the 2000s. Is that like they're all just gore films mostly, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, there's something about it, you know.
It was the Saw films and
cursed.
and the Hostel films, which strangely enough were like they were taken from the French New like.
From gasping away.
What the fuck is it called? The French
Extremity.
Yeah, French Extremity.
Uh-huh.
But like these really edgy slasher movies where like it's just like I'm pretty sure Rob Zombie films just always have a rape in them. I'm pretty sure that happens in every single one of his films. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you just leave it out, like, you know. Slasher film. Slasher, just stick to the kills, like, you know. What were they thinking back then? What were they
Money.
thinking? How do people go watch this?
It was the boom.
It was. This is the tail end of the boom. This is when you knew it was over, you know.
Yeah, 2007, like things are looking grim.
Yeah. 2007, it's a good year for film, though. You know.
What else came out that year?
Spider-Man 3. Remember when we talked about this? It had like the good years for film.
Yeah, we're talking about like Cronus and shit.
Yeah, 2007 was one of those years, but I can't remember what the fuck it came out. Yeah. But
Yeah, man, I'm shocking at years. I couldn't even remember what Twin Peaks.
Tropic Thunder. Or was that 2008?
I'm pretty sure 2008.
Fuck.
2008 had a couple of good films.
Yeah.
Iron Man and shit.
2009, terrible year. Nothing came out.
Yeah, man, nothing ever comes out.
I know.
But yeah, nah. 2007, like
Fuck it. 2K7.
Halloween, not about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
Did not like. Not nice.
Not very nice. Yeah. Hopefully they have the new Halloween's good.
Man, fingies crossed.
Halloween 2. Halloween, I think it's called Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Which is not a good start because that's a fucking terrible title. Then
Fucking awful title.
And then the next one's called Halloween Ends, which is sort of, we get it.
How the fuck? I'm just curious as to like, is Mike Myers gonna look really fucked up in this film because he was in a fire?
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't. Yeah. Well, maybe his suit will be burned or whatever. Maybe we'll get a new suit.
What if the mask is melted onto his face?
I hope they don't do that.
I feel like they might.
I hope they don't do that. That would be Rob Zombie levels of fucking retarded. Like, just leave it. Melt it onto his face. He has superpowers. And he can shapeshift. That's something they would do. Like, fucking hell.
I feel like they would.
Melt it onto his face. I think, that is realistic. That's something that you'd say in like one of those meetings. You'd be like, "That's what we want.
Yeah,
we want that kind of out of the box thinking."
Because it hasn't been done before.
Yeah, that's been done some other place. That
Jason,
was done in Goosebumps.
I'm pretty sure Jason and shit like that.
Yeah,
like Jason's mask gets fucked up a bunch of times.
Fused to his face.
Yeah,
I think it could be done well, but it almost certainly won't be. That could be done well. If it was in our hands, we'd sort that out fine.
I'm like, I want something like you. Yeah, no, I don't think it's good. Like, cause
it's one of those ideas that like on its own it could work, but like it's inevitably going to lead to something else within that kind of system where it's just gonna be like
because there's
disaster.
a stage. Because there's gonna be a stage where like they have to rip the mask off him then or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're just gonna be like a burn victim for the third film.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they can't take the mask off, or they'll have some scene where they're trying to unmask him. They're like, oh my god. It doesn't come off.
Their fingers get fused into it.
Yeah, something like that, Hopefully they don't do something like that.
Oh god.
Because I think it is set just like the day afterwards. So.
Oh god, there's so many places this film could go.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe I just like because that's such a because he comes out with the melted mask. That would make sense.
That would make sense in a way.
And you're just like, oh god, because that could just look like complete shit.
Yeah, yeah, that could be like the whole.
But I don't know, because the first one was like
the first one was good. It's pretty good. Yeah,
make it very good. Like the 2018 one. Yeah. I really like that movie.
Yeah, yeah. It knows what it's doing. It understands the assignment.
Yeah. Much like our next film, a film that Mark you have also watched.
I have indeed.
I went on around for 3 films there, but we're back. We're Mark, and it's The Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter. The scariest film of all time.
Second greatest film of all time.
The second great, according to Cahiers de Cinema, the film critics of the 20th century. All those French guys who like basically invented film criticism. This is the second best film of all time. But it's not.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's good.
It's good.
It's really good. It's actually really good.
I came across this dude on Letterboxd, and he liked one of my reviews. I went onto his profile. He was rating films that like I would like pretty like 2.5 stars and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck? What are your highest ratings? So I clicked onto his highest one. Godfather at 5 stars. Everything else 4.5. And I just saw that and I was like, film criticism at its highest. Like this is it. This is the pinnacle.
That's the peak. That's the peak. Godfather is great though. But
to be the only 5-star film in existence?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
That's a meme opinion.
That's such a fucking film bro opinion.
Yeah.
But Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter.
Pretty good.
It's good. It's good. Directed by I think Robert Lawton is his name.
Only directed one film.
He never directed anything again because people hated this, which is like, if that happens, your film is definitely like one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Exactly, yeah, people telling all the bollocks. But yeah, it's about sort of hard to explain. It's about a guy called Ben Harper, and Ben Harper is he's set in Depression era America, so everyone's fucked. Everyone's completely goosed.
Everyone is poor as fuck.
Poor as fuck, dust ball and all that stuff. And it starts off. It starts off with the old lady for a second, and then it goes into the actual story. And it starts off, he's come back to his ranch. He comes up to his son, and he's like, Jimmy, or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's like, Jimmy, I need you to, promise me that you won't tell anyone where I've hidden this $10,000. And obviously back in that day, $10,000 is like,
a lot.
Like $1 million. So, and he was like, yeah, I swear, Pa. And he's like, he says to his daughter, he's like,
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. She's like, yeah, I swear, Pa.
She's real young as well.
Yeah, she's good, great performance from her. To be fair, you know, very, very young.
Great child performances.
Yeah. The kid, the boy, amazing performance. He's basically the main character. Carries the film. Yeah, so he hides the $10,000 in inside the doll of his daughter, and then he gets arrested and he's hanged. He's convicted of murder because he got $10,000 from robbing a bank and killing 2 people in the process. So he's hanged and all that stuff. And but before he's hanged, he mentions in his sleep something about where, like a clue about where he would have hidden it.
Or they never found the $10,000, and that's the whole thing with the case.
That's the thing, you know. But he says something about a child knowing where it is in his sleep, and his bunkmate, who was a guy called
Powell.
Yeah, Harry Powell, it's actually based on a true story.
Yeah. Well, based on a real dude. He didn't do anything like this, but it's a real dude.
Yeah. But he did the stuff later in the film. Kill people to sort of embezzle money.
Based on Harry Powers, that's his name.
Powers
used Lonely Hearts ads to lure his victims in, and he killed like 2 families or something.
Yeah, some Dutch fella back in the day. But yeah, this guy Harry Powers, he gets released at some point.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna find this money, because he's like a charlatan kind of preacher. And so
he's also a murderer.
Yeah, he's also a bad guy who like does this for a living, sort of like preying on widows and like swindling them and murdering them and stuff like that. So he goes to find Ben Harper's wife, and he like befriends her, and he basically becomes the kids' dads and stuff. And the whole thing where it's like a fairy tale basically. From that point on, it's like a Mother Goose kind of story. It's like
but it's also the big bad wolf and stuff like that, and like fucking Hansel and Gretel and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's mad. Very whimsical kind of film.
It's got this weird like innocence to it, but it's also really sinister because Powell is really fucking scary.
Yeah,
he is paro as fuck.
Yeah. Like he announces himself. He's an amazing like villain. Like he's a scary. Like the film isn't actually that scary, but he's a really scary villain. And whenever he appears in the scene, he announces himself with he sings everlasting or
lean on me or something.
Yeah, leaning in everlasting arms. Like it's like a hymn, and but he sings it really well. And it's really haunting the way he does it. You know, massively influenced by German expressionism apparently.
Yeah, you can see it as well.
Yeah, a lot of like
silhouettes and whatnot.
Yeah, mad silhouettes, and like the sets are like really kind of like exaggerated and like caricatures. Like when he marries the widow, their bedroom is like kind of like a chapel.
Yeah, and
when the kids find refuge with the old lady and later in the film,
it's a cottage.
Yeah, their bedroom is like it's some other kind of thing. It's like a fucking teepee or something, you know. And there's this really cool scene where they have when they're hiding, when the kids escape after he's murdered the widow, and they're hiding in a barn after having floated downstream, and the shot shows them hiding in the barn, but at the same time shows Harry Powers like riding along like in a silhouette on like the landscape. And it's a really nice scene, but it literally looks like a fucking
picture book.
Yeah, like a picture book. Yeah, the way they actually shot, like that's all practical effects as well. The effects are amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing effects.
It looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
The use of tone and like texture in the black and white as well.
Yeah,
is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's all practical as well. Like they didn't shoot that separately. Like they actually shot that with a little person and a pony in the background.
That's insane.
You know, like what? It's just ridiculous. They didn't need to do that, but it just looks so cool.
And it's haunting.
Yeah. It's quite disturbing because he's singing that song the entire time.
And it is like the fairy tale shit of it. Like actually, talking about this film is actually making me kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Because like I'm thinking like it does look amazing, and like the fairy tale aspect of it. I forgot that like it starts with like the old woman that like we find later on in the film, or whatever. But like she's telling this story essentially because the story is basically a fairy tale. Because the fairy tales that they tell in the film are really fucked up. So it's almost like this is just one of those stories where it's like the big bad wolf, but it's like they're telling. It's like, I don't know. It's like this weird, fucked up fairy tale fantasy thing.
Yeah, because like he's basically a storyteller. That's what he is. You know, he's a charlatan priest, and he's like abusing the word of God. Like it's fairy tale, but it's also like sort of equating the Bible, that kind of thing. Like the Bible as like a fairy tale kind of myth, and like they're always using or referencing biblical stories and biblical tales. like his whole shtick is like when he shows up into
Love
to
and
sort of
hate.
to ingratiate the people, the locals to him. He tells a story about he has like love and hate tattooed on
Or stingies.
yeah, on his right hand he has love and on his left hand he has hate. And he tells a story about how Cain struck down Abel, and he has like a whole like fucking poem to go with it.
Yeah.
That's really a cool poem, you know.
The duality of man.
Yeah, the duality of man. Yeah.
Good versus evil. Like
yeah.
that side of it is like so simplistic. Like the good versus evil in it. Because like there's all this shit. Like people are like, oh, it's such a great tale of good versus evil. But it's just like, but that's only because it's a fucking fairy tale. Like that's just where it comes from.
Yeah, because it's like
it's not subtle.
oh no, yeah, it's about children at the end of the day, and like it becomes really obvious because for a while you're thinking it's just like, you know, a noir kind of thing, but then at the end, when there's like basically like a siege situation where the preacher Harry Power has hunted them down, and they're staying in the old lady's gaff with other kids, other kind of like fucking cast off kids, and he's hunted them down. And there's a scene where the old lady is sitting on her porch.
That's so weird.
That's a really cool scene. He's sitting outside staring at her, like sitting on like a stump of a tree.
Yeah, and they're just singing together.
Yeah. They're singing "Leaning in the Everlasting Arms" together.
That's such a weird scene though as well.
Yeah, because she's lit in dark and he's lit in light.
It's really surreal.
Yeah. Everyone in the film speaks in like they're in the Bible. They speak like they're like a fairy tale character.
Well, like they also have like a kind of twang to their voice still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they sound like Southern American and stuff. But yeah, there's like it becomes really apparent in that siege scene where they have the showdown and she shoots him, but it doesn't show him getting shot.
No.
And he just sort of like he scurries away like an animal. It's like
he scurries away like a little rodent.
Yeah. It's like he's taken on some kind of weird form, and when she shoots him, it's exposed him as what he is, like a little
coward.
A little weak kind of rodent kind of character, and it's all about the strength of the children and how, you know, the world is a terrible place for little things, and how children.
One of the key lines in the film.
Yeah, and how children are like, you know, versatile and durable, and like they'll adapt to anything, like no matter how bad the situation is, you know. So, but which isn't really like what you'd expect the film to do, even like an hour in, you know.
Yeah.
You don't see it going that way, which is it's interesting, but it's also a bit weird. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It just didn't vibe with it.
I think it could have gone in a cooler direction, but I think it knew what it was trying to do.
Yeah, and it does achieve it as well. Like it
achieves it very well.
It's an amazing like expressionistic gothic, like Southern Gothic fairy tale set in Depression era America, and it like that is like exactly what it is. It's all those things combined, and it's a really great Depression era story as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like, man, the people are fucked in this film. They're so fucked up. And like all those kids are there because their parents just can't take care of them because it's a Depression era America.
Yeah,
all these orphans.
They're all just lost children, you know. And the landscape itself is mad weird. Like because obviously it's like surreal, you know.
There's the river, which is like Tom Sawyer going down the river and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or Huckleberry Finn actually.
Yeah, and as they're going down the river, like the sets are like, they look like paintings, but like obviously it's on purpose. They could have built a set, but they painted it instead because it adds to the picture book kind of quality of it. And they have there's like white picket fences in the landscape that don't circle anything. They're just there as like sort of icons of you know, of America at the time. And there's a scene set in like a town when the girls like meeting up with the boys.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
the neon like half the neon signs in that thing like don't. They're just stacked on top of each other.
And it looks like New York.
Yeah. It's like mad impressionistic and mad like surreal, like very out there, very
another down the river story as well.
Yeah.
But I guess in
Moses now, yeah.
I guess in this case as well, though, it's Moses, but it's also like Wizard of Oz. It's also like a kind of fairy tale. There's all these like parallels you can make throughout the entire film. But like the Coen brothers and all fucking love this film.
Do they?
Man, like all the big critics and filmmakers love this film, and it is good.
It's great, to be fair.
It is great.
It is great.
But you know. But you know, like,
it's great. Like, it's just like it's not it's some part of a show like, you know, you show a kid or something. Like a kid could watch this.
But it's also mad fucked up. It's really scary.
Well, yeah, the point where like, well, in certain parts, like when she's under the water and when they find her body and stuff.
Shit, yeah, that's
really fucked up.
That's really fucked up.
Yeah, like how did they do that? The practical effects are amazing.
But like even the fucking like the preacher, like he is so scary, and he does some really fucked up things. Like
he actually kind of looks like the actual Harry Powers as well.
he does, yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, there's just this like weird tone throughout the film though. It's just this a really uncomfortable, kind of whimsical, but like this tension throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it's in a weird place. Like it is a bit intense, but
And like it's about child, and like it's about
kids.
It's about kids being murdered as well. Like that's a
he's trying to murder them.
It's really
basically.
fucked up.
Yeah, but he doesn't get the kids at the end of the day, And that the whole third act is just like he could show that to a kid and it would be fine. It's just the first part where he murders the woman, or the widow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those. It doesn't fit in any particular box.
It's good though.
Because they say it's a horror film. It's not. It's not a horror film.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not a horror film like Sleepaway Camp. Spoiler alert for Sleepaway Camp, but right,
spoiler is random slasher film of the 80s.
Yeah, but like
Sleepaway Camp. Now that is a horror film. That's a slasher film if I ever seen one.
It's a very good slasher movie.
It's very good. Very good. Very subversive. Up until the last shot.
We'll get on to that.
It's even the last shot's quite like, it's not something you'd see anyway from typical slasher fare. I was really impressed with Sleepaway Camp. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was way better than it had any right to be. The kills are class.
All the kills are great.
Yeah, but they don't even pretend really that you're not supposed to know who the killer is.
Yeah,
like it's really obvious straight away.
It is really obvious straight away, but god, like
let's get into this.
So like Sleepaway Camp, classic horror movie, like one of the great slashers of all time. But you hear two things about this film.
Yeah.
One, there's an amazing twist that you never see coming. Two, the ending is super transphobic, and it's super obvious then now when you're watching. It's like, oh well, the girl is the killer, but it turns out that she's trans, and that's gonna be the whole thing. And it's like it is really a fucking twist you don't see coming at all on the first time, because it's so fucking stupid. But not that it's stupid, it's just so unbelievably transphobic, and that part of the film, not a fan of. Don't like that at all. That was really weird. But everything up until that point, knowing that twist now, you can view the film as a very different thing. And in the case of this, you're like, oh right, this is a trans girl, and she's taking out people that completely deserve this, and it makes you kind of root for her more. I think that they didn't intend for that, because I think it was meant to be this it's meant to be a kind of harmful thing, a mean thing, if you know what I mean.
No, I think they all deserve it,
But I'm talking about the reveal that she's trans.
The reveal, yeah. I think the reveal is supposed to be oh my god,
yeah,
this changes everything, as in sort of, not even really in a bad way, more like a sort of disgusted way or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's a disgusted way where it's oh, maybe, wait, did they deserve it? Because this trans girl killed them? I feel like that's so, or
it's more like...
here's the last shock of the film.
It's more like, they're killed by a monster or something like that,
That's it. Yeah, they're killed by a monster. Yeah. That is 100% it. Because even, because when they do reveal it, it is, it's, really, weird, because
it's so scary.
It is scary because the
it's
music
terrifying.
And the face that she's pulling, and it zooms out on this I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a fella wearing a mask or
it's
if it's
just a guy. It's like a buff guy,
wearing the head of a 12-year-old child.
Yeah, but the face is the girl Angela that you've been following the entire time, but the body is just of a man or whatever, and it's just her
proportions are all off, and the face looks really,
and it's just her her face frozen in a scream, and it's just going and it just zooms out, and it's absolutely terrifying.
It is. And the music is really intense.
Yeah. But obviously it is quite problematic.
Yeah, it's so fucking transphobic, because the body proportions are all off, and it's wow, this is.
Well, she looks completely normal girl.
I think she's because it's a cis girl playing her the entire time.
Yeah.
I think in and of itself, but that's not the bigger problem. That's not the bigger that's not the most transphobic thing in this film. That shit is just so bad. But up until that point, it's a completely different film. And it's really good.
It's amazing. It's very, very good. Well, it is. It actually is. But it's all these weird things in it. for the first 15 minutes, I had absolutely no idea what the fuck was going on. I had
Same.
no idea what, because it opens with a little girl, little boy, and their dad, and they're just like sort of swimming in like a lake. And it's cutting between them and this group of friends who have like a speedboat, and they're like, oh no, what's gonna happen here?
What is going on?
And yeah, and like the people driving the speedboat are like the most irresponsible drivers you'll ever see. They're like looking the wrong direction and stuff like that, and they turn around, they're like, oh my god, we're heading for these children, and they don't really do anything to turn or anything, and so everyone dies, or you assume everyone dies, and then it cuts to the boy, whatever the fuck his name is, Billy and Angela, who are main characters basically.
I think it is Billy.
Is it? It probably is, yeah. And they're coming downstairs and they're off the camp and they're talking to their mom, and their mom talks like the witch in Trolls 2.
Holy shit, it's so weird. She's like so out of place.
She's acting like, at the end you sort of get the idea that like she's extremely disturbed in herself, but like when you first meet her, like this is the start of the film, you don't know anything about the characters, and she's talking like this.
She's super overacting.
She's overacting for no particular reason, and you're like, what the fuck is this about? And they go off the camp, and the rest of the film is just like kind of straightforward, pretty conventional, but like really good slasher. But it's full of those weird moments like that where you're just like what's going on, you know? Yeah, it is really good.
Then the kills are amazing.
The kills are class. They get straight into it as well.
Yeah, straight into a pedo fucking axed.
Yeah, it gets boiled.
Which is like, right, so like, problem with fucking Halloween 2007 film is like you sympathize with like Michael Myers killing people. In this one, you sympathize with Angela the entire fucking time. Because the people that she kills like are like
evil.
Pieces of shit. Like she kills a pedo to start off with, and then she kills like this obnoxious fucking little rapey little dude, and then she kills all these other people, whatever. But like every one of them deserves it, and like that's where like the major transphobia comes from, because like you like 100% support her, but then the ending is meant to imply that actually she's a monster. And like you're not meant to support. It's like, oh, we subverted you because whatever.
We subverted the subversion, you know. But like you could easily change that ending.
Yeah.
And the whole film would be like a fucking cult masterpiece.
Yeah.
And people would be like, this is amazing. Because like the film's structure is basically this social oddity, this like outcast who is strange for like.
She doesn't do anything. So she doesn't deserve any of the hate.
She doesn't do anything,
getting.
but like she's like non-conforming.
Yeah.
And there's something that's basically the other people at the camp are like, she's not the same as us.
She's an outsider.
Yeah, she's the other, and it's basically her getting bullied for being the other, and then the people doing the bullying getting punished for it. It's just like a cycle of that, which is, you know, if you change the ending, suddenly you have like a really kind of, you know, uplifting kind of film maybe, or like, you know, subversive or transgressive or whatever in a more positive way. But like it just goes for like the mad shock factor, which is scary, really scary. But like it doesn't age very well. No. It does not age. Ages like milk.
But like it is it is scary though. The ending is so scary.
It's terrifying.
But like everything until that point as well is like there's like this weird edge to it as well though, because when you're watching, it's like, oh, it's just like kills, whatever. But like the kills are so fucked up and are so graphic that like it makes like as soon as the first dude, or like as soon as like the fucking kids get decapitated at the start of the film, you're just like, oh, this film's got like fucked up shit in it. And then the pedo boils, and like, oh god, this is like these people are gonna get fucked up, and they do get fucked up.
yeah, they get goosed, you know. That's great to see. It's great that they all deserve it. That's the best part. It's like really cathartic, and it's not like it's even cool in the way it like kind of reverses like the classic slasher formula, where even in like Halloween, you have the pure virgin survives, and everyone who dies deserves to die because they're like sinners, because they smoke weed or like have sex and stuff like that. Whereas in this, it's like they deserve to die because they're terrible people, and like they're pedophiles or like they're bullies or like stuff like that, you know. So like it's way more kind of positive in that way. But it's
or you're a child, you also deserve to die if you're a child, I guess.
Well, yeah, at the start, but you know that's
no, as in like when she butchers all the little kids.
Oh well, they deserved it at the same time. You know, they're all mean. You know,
they were laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause she's just picked on for no reason, and she's so sympathetic. It's just like, no, this is just a nice girl.
Yeah, she just doesn't talk.
Yeah,
you know?
she's just quiet.
Yeah.
And all these people like bully her.
Yeah, she's bullied by a girl who looks about 40 years old.
I know, yeah.
I actually had that written down.
Yeah.
She looks about 40.
She looks so old.
Because we show up at the camp and your man Billy's like, his mate comes up.
He looks about 12. Like, they look 12.
Billy looks about 12. Billy's actually 18 when the film
It's hilarious.
It's so bizarre. And Angela's actually like 13 or 14. But Billy's mate comes up and he's like, Billy, you should see the jugs on fucking the Mean Girl or whatever. He's like, oh,
Nikki.
really? Yeah, Nikki or whatever. And then they show her, and she looks about 40 years old, and it's just like, apparently
this woman.
Apparently, she really aged puberty really hit her hard over the summer, and apparently she was going steady with this guy Billy, like up until like a few months ago. It's like so bizarre. It's
So
like the age
weird.
ranges. It's just so bizarre.
And then the fucking owner of the place is super old.
Yeah, he's like 60 or 70.
And then he's having like something with one of the fucking counselors or something.
He's trying to ride one of the counselors, and she gets butchered. And he's like, he gets mad like blue balls, and he just goes on a rampage and goes after Billy. Like
that's when he starts caring that people are dying. He's like, I didn't get my hole.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 kids have been killed in a clear like serial killer kind of situation, and he doesn't give a rat's. And then he's trying to get his hole off your one Meg, and she gets killed, and he's like, "What? This is disgraceful. How can this go on?
This is an attack on me."
Yeah. And then he gets fucked up.
Oh man, his kill is very satisfying.
Yeah.
He fucked up Billy though.
Yeah. Thank God Billy survived.
Yeah.
Billy was a good kid.
Mm.
Billy was a good
Angela
kid.
as well. She fucking got her revenge on those
Yeah.
bastards.
She
Even the nice guy, he was a little fucking sleazeball.
the nice guy, he didn't deserve it.
Oh
like,
man, he was a sleazy.
he
little ball.
deserved it in the way the guy from Midsummer deserved it, which is not really,
They deserve it.
they
Yeah,
all-
you
I
actually
don't-
do. That's the exact
It's the exact
same
same
thing.
thing. It's like he's just kind of mean in one scene, and then
Man,
suddenly he
he's
deserves
real
to die.
Creepy.
I don't know. But yeah, well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. But like that's the 80s, you know.
That's just the 80s.
It's just the 80s.
But
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
good film. But like,
yeah,
bad ending.
yeah.
But like this is the thing. Remake it.
Remake
it.
that. Yeah,
Remake
absolutely.
this. Like there is a fucking like perfect 10 out of 10 masterpiece in this film.
Yeah, you could remake this and people would love it.
You can make it even longer because it's pretty short. It's only like 80 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think they expected it to be
Make it an hour and 40.
such a cult classic.
Fucking beef it up a bit.
Yeah, beef it up, you know, get it going.
Get it the budget.
Get it.
But
budget.
don't make it dark.
Oh, don't make it like
Don't
darkly
make it.
lit.
Yeah, don't make it like a fucking like this takes place at night all the time.
Yeah, you know,
Like, you know-
over space of like a night or whatever. Like have it
Like,
be.
Don't have it like a 2000s remake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, do a get Ari Aster on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a shout.
Sleepaway Camp. You know, like how would you fix the ending? This probably cut this, but like how would you change the ending?
Don't have it like a scary thing, or just don't have the big reveal. Like make it like obvious throughout the entire film, and then like have
Have her escape.
not have her escape, but have it like I don't know how you do this because she's the killer. I don't know how you do it. Have her more of a sympathetic character.
Well, she's mad sympathetic.
But like have her even more so like at the end you're just like, or make the villains even more fucked up.
No, I think that she's perfectly sympathetic, and the characters are like already kind of cartoonishly evil. Like I don't know how you'd fix the ending, but like there's definitely some way. If you sit around and stuck your head
Yeah.
to it, you could definitely find a way to.
Don't
make that
have
work.
it as like this big scary shock moment,
Well, you need a shock. Well, yeah, you can, but don't make that be the shock.
or maybe
Make
have
something else
you
be
know
the
what?
shock.
Maybe have a moment where like they turn on her and like the camp counselor or whatever like fucking loses it, and then he becomes like a serial killer, and he's like he gets her or whatever, and that's when you have the reveal. But have it as this like it's a trans character getting revealed, but it's not done in like the way that it's done in this movie.
Yeah,
And then he's the villain, and then Billy comes in and he saves her, or like Billy comes
Yeah.
in, tries to fight him off or whatever, and then Angela actually ends up killing him, and then that's the end of the film, and then it's all blamed on him,
yeah, and then she gets away.
and then she gets away.
That would be cool. Yeah, and then but like only Billy and Angela have seen
Yeah.
who killed that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, but everyone's like, yeah, it must have been him because he attacked Billy.
yeah, and he's attacking Angela.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here, who owns the rights to this film?
Yeah.
We will write this for you.
Like, and make him even more of a piece of shit, because he's already a piece of shit, but make him even more so.
Yeah, because he's kind of sympathetic at the start because he's like suspicious of the
Yeah.
Peter character and stuff. But yeah, it's there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there you go.
like it's a great film though. It's a great film.
And therefore, it's a film about the like disenfranchised, the oppressed, whatever.
Mm.
Taking revenge on the people that are like abusing them.
Yeah, the
Something like-
pedos.
Yeah, the pedos and the people that sexualize you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you could do that, man. You could like just let me. I'm not actually writing the dialogue, but let me tell you what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you
Because there's so much, There's definitely a way you could save that.
there is
Remake it.
remake it. We're gonna go for a break.
Let's go for a break. We sus. And now on to the listener questions round. If you want to ask us a question, you can get to us at @paro_pod on Twitter or on Instagram, or you can email us at theparopod@gmail.com. So today we asked our faithful listeners a question. Oh no! Yeah, we asked a question. No, wait. All right, we'll do the listener questions first. All right. Today Neil's asking, were you asked to join the ESL, the European Super League, is what he means. We unfortunately were.
No.
Well, we were.
Well, we were.
In a way,
we
in a
rejected
roundabout
'cause
way.
We're about the people.
We're all about the people. This is the People's Podcast, the People's Paro Podcast,
The PPP.
the PPP. Exactly.
The PPs.
Yeah.
The P boys.
Exactly. And yeah, we said no because we're not for that. And obviously, we turned out to be correct. Yeah, the ESL. What are your thoughts?
Well, as a major fan of football, as you all know, really into my sports,
Football.
my sport games, my soccer balls, all about that shit. Game of footsies,
Spherical objects.
moving about, being kicked and whatnot, all about that shit. You know me. But I knew a lot about this.
Yeah.
This is fucking everywhere. It's impossible to get away from.
Yeah, this mobilized
I wonder if this is still
all of Europe.
Mobile. Yeah, Europe has never been so united.
Yeah, since World War II.
Not even at that we're divided.
Yeah.
We Europeans. Yeah, it was interesting. It really magically, not magically, really spectacularly fell apart really, really quickly. But as a complete fucking outsider, when this started, I had absolutely no idea what these people were fucking, or what all these football fans were sharing and shit. I thought it was just people just raging at the wealth in the clubs, just in general. And I was just like, oh yeah, cool. So they're asking for these clubs to be torn apart or whatever.
That would make more sense.
That would make way more sense. Then I found out it's with this league, and I read about the league rules or whatever. It's like this makes no sense. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then I can just see how much money that they're making. I was like, oh yeah, this makes more sense. Why this is the reason why people are sharing this.
Yeah, because it's basically just turning European football into an American kind of system. NFL, NHL, NBA kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you only have certain franchises who can move from city to city. But it's like a monopoly basically. So, UEFA basically does have a monopoly as it stands, which is their whole grounding for starting the Super League. Because the EU courts almost certainly would have ruled in favor of them, because it would have been like, oh, this is the free market. You can do whatever you want. If you have loads of money, go ahead and do it. Do what you want with it. Which was why they were so bold about it. But what was so exceptional, I think, was how fucking brazen they were when they did it. like Ed Woodward, the Man United chief executive, who resigned the other day, sort of in the wake of this, when it all fell apart. He was on the phone to the president of UEFA on the Thursday, and then I think it was on the Saturday or something, or the Sunday. They all just suddenly broke off from every organization in Europe and started their own thing.
Yeah.
No warning whatsoever. No one really knew it was going to happen until it leaked in the morning of the day they released the press release and stuff like that. So it was a real kind of coup. It was a real sort of break with everything. It was really sudden, and I thought if they had the balls to do that they must have had some kind of set plan. There was no way to stop this, because it's talking about people that are all these clubs are owned by, all 15 clubs are owned by billionaires.
Yeah.
Who some of them are heads of states.
Yeah.
And they're massively powerful people. So I assumed they had some sort of plan.
But
clearly they didn't. They had no plan whatsoever, because it fell apart within 48 hours.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, even the people at the top are just idiots. We're just run by these absolute monkeys, these buffoons who have no idea what they're doing. Yanks and fucking, it's not just the Americans' fault. It's like Barcelona and Real are run by Europeans, and then you have City and Chelsea, Russia, Arabs.
Yeah.
They're all in it. It's just rich people in general just trying to ruin ruin the sport. They've already ruined the sport, but they're trying to make. They're trying to be too open about it. They're too vulgar about it.
Too vulgar. Because I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I can understand people getting pissed at like all these majorly rich clubs. Like this is a joke. Yeah, it's the same teams all the time. Then I found out it was this. Was like, oh, so this really blatant example is why people are gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, they're just too blatant about it. That was their big problem. Like. They still kind of won in the end because the reason they announced it on that day was because the day afterwards was UEFA were announcing a new format for the Champions League, and the format, the new official format for the Champions League, is basically what all those clubs already asked for. But it still maintains like all the the illusion of meritocracy. Like all the small clubs can still kind of get into it if they pump loads of money into it, or like they have a freak season where they finish top of the league.
Like, well, what are the new rules then?
Where it's like the TV money is like funneled upwards, so like they get a bigger share of the pie, and the teams are expanded, and you have like I think it's 2 or 3 places are allocated to teams that didn't finish in the appropriate places. So say like Liverpool or like Arsenal finish like 10th and they don't qualify for the Champions League. From 2023 or 2024, they'll still be given a place. Because they're one of the super clubs. Yeah, but like that's the UEFA line. Like that's what the good guys have put forward, and the ESL where these clubs gone. That's not enough. Yeah. So like people are like that's way too far. But at the same time, we still all lost. Yeah. Like football is still fucked. I think Neil's just salty because Everton weren't invited. To be honest, Everton weren't even thought of. ESL European Super League. Who were Everton?
I was joking with Brad.
Yeah.
That's fucking gas.
Everton. But that's the thing, because straight away on the day, it was wall-to-wall coverage on Sky, BBC. But like Sky have you ever watch Sky Sports News? They have a 24-hour news channel that's just dedicated to football. Yeah. Basically. They do cricket and stuff like that. But no one cares about that stuff. And it's all about football. It's all about the Premier League and talk about, it's the greatest league in the world. It's like, this is, we invented football, England, this is our sport. It's all part of our national identity. But like the Premier League itself was the result of a breakaway league. Yeah. Like they started out Division 1 in in 1991 or 1992. Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Everton, I think Spurs, and Arsenal, I think. So Everton used to be in it, but they're not anymore. But they're all like, we're going to break away and form our own league because we're the big clubs and we make all the money and we want to make more money. And the UK government were like, yeah, that's grand, but you have to take all the fucking dud clubs with you, otherwise we're not going to allow it. And that's what the Premier League is. It's just it's a league made to make money for a certain level of clubs. So it's a big hypocrisy at the end of the day, and that's how Sky got their big break. Like that's why they're so big these days, because they from day one they had exclusive rights to the Premier League, and that was like their flagship program. And then they're like railing against the ESL. But if the ESL offered them broadcast rights,
they take it.
They would have taken it, and there would have been no outrage. Because it all started with Gary Neville's big speech on Sky. Yeah. On MNF, which I think you saw.
Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah. Even I saw it.
Yeah, everyone saw it, and he sort of rallied the movement. And from then on, people got big about it. It's like, but if Sky had been offered a piece of the pie, he wouldn't have said that stuff.
You wouldn't have been allowed to.
Yeah, the media manufacturing consent in football, of all places.
Of all places, the secret pitch.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, we weren't asked.
Yeah, unfortunately, would have taken it though. 100%.
Yeah, just anchor money, just not coming in.
Not coming in. Keep getting copyright claims. Shocking.
Yeah, keep getting hacked. Like,
oh, fucking. Yeah. But our question to the listener this week was all about the method of acting, method acting. And it was thoughts on method acting. Is it good? Is it bad? What's your thoughts and opinions on it? And first one came in from Adam. Adam said, when done right, Daniel Day-Lewis is phenomenal. Jared Leto is shit. Yep.
I have to agree with that.
It's a good method. It's a I don't know.
The method is great.
The method. I'm all
about the method.
I put all my money in the method. I have to support it. Yeah, like that's where I agree. Like some actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, whoever, Joaquin Phoenix, all these method actors, like when they're good, they're good. They're very good.
Matthew McConaughey.
Heath Ledger. But that's like the darker side of it, isn't it?
Yeah, when you kill yourself.
Or like your Jim Carreys. Or like, I haven't seen that Jim Carrey documentary about him as
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. God, I couldn't think. I literally could not think of that man's name. Andy Kaufman, yeah, like Man on the Moon. But then there's Jim and Andy, which is the documentary about Jim playing Andy Kaufman, and like. One of the complaints about Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman in the documentary is that like he took it way too far and he never knew when to stop. Like Andy Kaufman would know when to stop and he'd stop because he was like, you know, upsetting the person, whatever. But Jim Carrey didn't do that. And like Jim Carrey, at one point in the documentary, apparently this bit where like he used to talk about Jim as like a third person. Like he'd be like Charlie or like Kaufman or whatever, like, oh yeah, Jim's really upset that no one's gonna like him, and he says shit like that.
That's like just
like that's someone that's screaming for help and no one's there. Like that's your Laura Palmer right there.
Yeah, he's mentally ill, isn't he? So you know that sort of goes to show. But at the same time, you know, if you're a fucking bus driver, you don't become the bus. You know, just do your job. Just like it's just pretend. You're, at the end of the day, an actor just pretends to be.
Because you're still pretending when you're method acting.
Yeah, method
you don't actually become the person.
Yeah. And that's the one. It's like, you know,
like Daniel Day-Lewis didn't become fucking Lincoln.
Yeah, yeah. Matthew McConaughey actually went to the fourth dimension, studying for his role in Interstellar. But yeah, like that's the thing with that's the thing. You have to know when to, you know, what's
the line?
Yeah, where's the line? The boundary between yourself and the character, and like. Unless you're a fool, like you should know where that sort of is. Unless you have serious problems of your own, then you should know where that is.
Yeah,
you know, if your self is so like fucking transparent that you can be overtaken by a fictional character,
Are you meme?
Yeah, you need help. You really need help. Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. Ever hear the stories about that?
Yeah, he's just an asshole though.
He used to give people used condoms and stuff.
But like that's not even like Joker shit. That's just Jared Leto being a fucking asshole.
But like that's not even like if someone did that, like everyone would just be like what's wrong with you? Like that's not even like mean. That's just like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what are you doing? Like what's like yeah? But he's basically a cult leader anyway. He's fucked in the head.
He's fucked.
Yeah, he's a wanker. But yeah, no, you can do it wrong.
Obviously, so many have.
Yeah, obviously Daniel Day-Lewis has it down. Theater actors, man.
Yeah, theater. Yeah, do you prefer a Shakespearean actor or do you prefer a theater actor? Like, do you prefer your Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins, or do you prefer your Daniel Day-Lewis's? Your Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, probably. I prefer them.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's like Anthony Hopkins. Like, yeah, it's like is Shakespearean just more theatrical?
Yeah, kind of. I guess.
Yeah, I don't really like that stuff.
It's really dramatic.
Yeah, like it has its place, but
I don't know. But this method actor, I'm just like. Maybe it's just the idea of like, oh, method actor, because it's just seen as like this like elitist thing, like it's a badge of honor to be a method actor, nearly.
Yeah, I think it's just the whole thing with like the fetishization of acting, or like actors in general.
Yeah,
like what are actors? They just read the lines that are written by someone else, and then they take direction from someone else.
Yeah,
like, but they're supposed to be like the face of the film.
It's like, oh, I really embrace the character underneath the script and the director's provision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I embrace his character that was made up and invented and cultivated by someone else under the supervision of an entirely different person who also has claim to the entire film. It's like,
but like that's the thing, right? You remember earlier we were like when we were talking about If, there was that moment where Malcolm McDowell did that shit or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, that's Trevor or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. Travis,
Travis, right? But if the director was like, that is not Travis at all, Malcolm McDowell wouldn't be Travis.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. The actors just overrated. Like,
yeah.
They just are. It's a fact. You know. The cult of the individual, something to do with that.
It's the cult of acting though, as well, as you're saying.
Yeah.
But no, acting's cool, like, and acting's great when you're not being a fucking pretentious dickhead.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not involved in the method. Like if you're just like, you know, theater acting and stuff like that, just you know, just doing your thing, reading your lines, getting into the character. That's good. Don't become the. You don't really need to.
Yeah, that's.
But it's still impressive as well, though, and I still enjoy method acting. Like you know, the people that do it.
Yeah, it is impressive, definitely. But at the same time, like to be a method actor, you have to get to a certain level, like a certain stage in like the fucking pyramid. Because like if you show up as an extra on fucking Coronation Street and your method acting is fucking Mr. Barlow or whatever, you're like, people are like, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah,
like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Like, you're just an extra. Or like, if you're a bit part, Like it's like a luxury, I think.
Yeah.
You know. All right, Neil's saying best form of acting, only way to get really into the character or role. Nah, I don't know. Like is Neil experienced in that kind of thing? I don't know.
He's always acting.
He's yeah. You know, fair play to him.
Always wearing a mask.
Aren't we all? You know, aren't we all method actors at the end of the day? Playing a character, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we're method acting right now, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is actually
This isn't who we are.
This has all just been the one person talking the entire time. He's pretty good at impressions.
Yeah. Best form of acting. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, man. Only way to get into the character role. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I have to disagree with that. You know, there's different ways, different methods, different ways to go about it. You know, way around the roundabout.
Yeah, no, it's just no. It's just disagree.
That's just completely wrong.
Like, yeah, whatever, Neil. And then Sarah says, "Just learn your lines." And at the end of the day, gotta agree with that.
At the end of the day, Sarah always comes in with the fucking tombstoning our questions. You know, just learn your lines.
Rest in peace.
That was James Gandolfini's method.
Yeah,
that's what he did. That was his method of acting, not his method acting, but how he did it. He used to, like, he started out as like an amateur. Like he joined in on like in a theater class with his mate, and he got into it. And his whole thing, his school of thought, was that you just learn the lines to a point where you can just repeat them like fucking in like in a string. Like you just know them like off by heart, and then you can focus on like accentuating like your like focus on your body movements or your body language and like your face and stuff like that. So like maybe he wasn't even saying the lines, but he just knew the lines like perfectly, and then he could act like in other ways. It. Yeah, exactly.
That's a really intense way of learning how to act.
Yeah,
though.
I could never do that. I couldn't learn lines off.
Just learning lines off over and over, entire scripts.
Yeah, imagine learning the entirety of The Sopranos off. Yeah, by heart, like, you know, fuck that.
But I wonder then, like, if you were like doing an interview with him or whatever, could you say like, oh, can you do one of the lines or whatever? Would he still remember it? I doubt it.
Probably not. Like, I can't remember any of the poems I learned for junior cert.
Like, that's what but like, I'm just thinking now, like, that's what we did for like history and shit. Like, just learned off like entire facts or whatever, and just like nearly learn out
Christopher Columbus,
yeah, all that fucking bollocks.
Yeah, but yeah, I
wouldn't essays.
Wouldn't remember it now, like.
No, it's completely gone now. Yeah, like, just learn your fucking lines. Especially, like, it has to be such a huge toll anyway to learn the lines. You don't need to just become the character.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, you have to really appreciate actors. You know, maybe they're overpaid, maybe they're over glorified, but how did they learn off all that stuff? I'd never understood it. I just don't get it. Yeah. You know, like, especially stage actors. Because, like, screen actors.
There's no cut.
Yeah, there's no cut. Like, you have to know every single line through the entire thing.
Stage acting is way more impressive in Mo.
Yeah. Because, like, for screen, you can make shit up.
Yeah.
And you can just, it's all, like, compartmentalized. You can do it scene by scene. On stage, it's like what's...
Yeah.
You know, like, if you lose your train of thought, suddenly you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if I ever got up on stage... Like, and you have to learn the whole thing.
You study your fuck.
If you fuck up once, like, I'd start panicking, and I'd be like, "That's it."
But that's the mark of a good actor, where like they fuck up, but they just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought about there, like, talking about Jim Carrey. Did you ever see the clip of him in a series of unfortunate events, where like he actually forgot the line, but like he incorporated it into he just ad-libbed, and it like really works with the character. Where like the guy, like the kids or something, says something to him. And he's like looming over them or whatever, and like he like looks at them blank for a second, and he walks away, and he's like, hold on, give it to me again, come on, keep going. But like it works as the character being like, which is really weird, but it's actually Jim Carrey like forgetting the line.
Yeah.
That shit works really well, but like that's the type of shit that like theater does all the time, and Jim Carrey's a stand-up.
Yeah, which is basically theater.
Yeah,
you know? Comedians. A decent comedian.
Wait,
anyway.
Is he stand up? Does Jim Carrey do stand up? He's the SNL.
Yeah,
anyway.
he definitely did stand up. Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, like before Dumb and Dumber and all.
Before he got big.
Yeah.
Before Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Ace Ventura. My God.
But like that's the thing is like you don't really need to just learn your lines. You know, it's cool, but
it's
like
not that hard. Like
that also like we talked about long takes before, and we're talking about like Birdman. like the best person at doing the lines in Birdman, and never forgetting the lines, was Zach Galifianakis, the dude, you know,
Zach Galifianakis.
Thank you. And but he's a stand-up as well. Like stand-up comedians are good at doing that shit because they're like, you know, naturally funny people, and they're able to like hold an impression, I guess.
Yeah, and like, they have to learn off jokes.
Yeah,
but like they can also like bridge between jokes. Like they know how to do that stuff. You know, they can just converse, you know, without making it sound awkward.
Yeah,
you know, the flow, all about the flow.
Yeah, and like when they get fucking like heckled and shit like that, and they're to like
go
off the cuff and just like deal with the heckler or whatever. Like that's a skill in and of itself.
Yeah, ever see like some of the improvisation in like a lot of those Jim Carrey films? Like it got really egregious, or in Seth Rogen films maybe, where it's just like it's clearly just mates who are like just bouncing off each other.
Yeah,
there's like a massive difference between that and like actual like comedians like properly sort of like proper improving and like, you know, making each other laugh and like a really making everyone laugh really. Like a Rogan film is just like some of it is just so it's like it's half in jokes or something like that, or it's just kind of
really
stilted.
Weird vibe to
it. Whereas like it's like a really good improv scene would be like it's just extremely funny because they're like coming up with their own shit on the spot.
Yeah,
and it's for the audience. It's not just for themselves. You know?
Yeah, I think a really good moment of that is in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's a moment where like Charlie and Frank is fucking Danny DeVito. Jesus, I couldn't think of his name for a second. Danny DeVito and like Charlie's like Charlie. I can't think of the second name.
Charlie
whatever.
Day,
Charlie Day. Yeah. And there's a moment where like Charlie showing Frank something in the box, and like Frank goes to reach his hands in, and Charlie's like snaps it shut, and like that was off the script, and like Frank went and then like Charlie goes like and he goes like pretty woman, and like Frank goes and then they start laughing. Like it's actually the two of them like having a joke about something, and like it works really well because it's just two comedic actors bouncing off each other, making each other laugh.
Yeah, Always Sunny is good for that, you know. But that has like that very like specific vibe. It's like you're with mates basically. You know, it's not just a film. It's like it's a whole setting.
You the actors are the creators, so you can do what you want.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
That's the vibe. Are we vibing off?
All right, that's it.
The method's
That's
over.
all, folks.
God, I'm so tired of this acting business.
I'm so tired, man. I can go back to my normal accent.
Oh, yes, Mark, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, next week, we're going to be talking about Altered States by Ken Russell, written by Paddy Chayefsky. Apparently, it's a good film.
Find it somewhere?
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's available somewhere. You look it up. Watch Altered States online. Free. It's there.
It's somewhere.
We're going to be talking about it. There's loads of weird things in there. Based on true events, in a way, I suppose.
In a way, yeah.
You know.
Kind of like The Devils.
Yeah, obliquely, you know. And two great minds of the cinematic world coming together. Yeah,
when
combined.
Worlds collide.
Yeah, so be there.
Be there, be square.
Be there, lad.
Right.
All right, bye,
everyone.